First, Windows, the iconic operating system, was launched by Microsoft in 1985. It marked the beginning of a graphical revolution in personal computing, replacing the command line interface. And today, over 70% of computers around the world run on Windows, from schools to offices, from gamers to developers. But back then, it wasn't a full operating system. Windows started as just a graphical layer built on top of MS-DOS, letting users click instead of typing commands. With major updates like Windows 95, XP, 7, 10, and now 11. Windows evolved into a fully featured modern OS, designed for performance, security, and ease of use. What makes Windows so popular is its wide hardware compatibility. Brands like HP, Lenovo, Dell, and many others build devices tailored for Windows, giving users endless choices at every budget. Windows supports a massive library of software, from productivity tools to creative apps to gaming and enterprise programs. Even many developers prefer Windows for building and testing applications, so it is the top choice for gamers, thanks to support for DirectX, Steam, Epic Games, and thousands of titles that run best on Windows. Across the globe, Windows also powers offices, schools, banks, and even governments, thanks to its integration with Microsoft tools and its reliability in large organizations. But Windows isn't perfect. One major complaint is its frequent and sometimes forced updates, which can interrupt work, or worse, send your PC into an endless update loop. And then, there's the infamous blue screen of death. Also, over time, Windows systems can become sluggish and older devices often can't run the latest Windows versions, forcing users to upgrade their hardware. Since Windows is so widely used, it's also a big target for hackers. There are tons of malware and viruses made specifically for Windows, which means macOS, originally called the Macintosh system, was first launched by Apple in 1984 with the release of the original Macintosh computer. It introduced a clean graphical interface, a bold step into the future of computing. Years later, Steve Jobs returned to Apple after it acquired his company, Next. That merger laid the foundation for the modern Mac OS. In 2001, Apple launched the first Mac OS. So, what makes Mac OS so good? It is the favorite of designers, editors, and music producers. With creative tools like Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, and excellent performance in Adobe apps, it's the platform of choice for millions of professionals. One of macOS's greatest strengths is the Apple ecosystem. It syncs effortlessly with iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches. macOS is known for its smooth performance. The interface feels fast, clean, and lag-free, even after years of use. Also, macOS is considered highly secure. It's also less targeted by viruses and malware compared to Windows, making it a safe choice for many users. But macOS isn't perfect. Unlike Windows PCs that come from HP, Dell, Lenovo, and many others, only Apple makes Macs. This means no third-party competition, limited upgrade options, and high costs. Gaming is another area where macOS struggles. Most popular games are not optimized or even available for Mac. Serious gamers still choose Windows for better performance and broader support. Next is Linux, but before Linux, there was Unix. It was first created in 1969 by AT&T Bell Labs as a powerful multi-user operating system. But back then, you had to pay to use it. But then came Richard Stallman, who believed software should be free and open for everyone. In the 1980s, he launched the GNU project, a free version of Unix. He built almost everything, except one thing, the kernel, the heart of the operating system. Then he meets Linus Torvalds. In 1991, he created a simple kernel as a school project and shared it online. Stallman's GNU tools and Torvalds' kernel came together, and that's how the world got Linux. So why do people love Linux? First, it's completely free. No license fees, no activation keys. Second, it runs on almost any device, no matter how old or low-powered. Linux is the top choice for programmers and software developers, thanks to its flexibility, powerful terminal, and open-source tools. And Linux is not just one OS. There are hundreds of Linux versions called distros. Popular ones like Ubuntu, Fedora, and Pop! OS all use the Linux kernel, but offer different experiences based on what you need. Linux is known for its high security. It's much harder for viruses and malware to break in. It's also very stable. It rarely crashes or freezes. Due to this, over 90% of cloud servers run on Linux. Tech giants like Facebook, Amazon, and Google rely on Linux to power their data centers and keep their platforms running 24/7. Also, all 500 of the world's fastest supercomputers run on Linux. And it doesn't stop there. Even NASA and SpaceX use Linux systems to power their space missions, spacecraft, and control systems. That's how reliable it is. And here's something most people don't know. The Android phones we use every day are also based on the Linux kernel. That means Linux isn't just in big servers or supercomputers. It's right in your pocket, too. But Linux isn't perfect. It has driver compatibility issues, especially with some printers, scanners, or gaming platforms like Steam. Popular apps like Microsoft 365 may not run smoothly. And for beginners, Linux can feel hard to learn with many commands and unfamiliar systems. Next, Chrome OS. In 2009, Google introduced a new kind of operating system. Lightweight, fast, and built entirely for the web. Chrome OS may look different, but deep down, it's built on the Linux kernel, the same core that powers Android. Chrome OS runs on devices called Chromebooks, lightweight and affordable laptops. They offer great battery life, fast boot up, and are perfect for students or anyone doing light works. It is mainly for light tasks like browsing, watching videos, using Google Docs, or video calls. Perfect for everyday use. Now, Chrome OS also supports Android apps through the Google Play Store, making it even more useful for entertainment, work, and creativity. But Chrome OS relies heavily on an internet connection. Since it's built for the cloud, many features don't work well offline. It also can't run heavy software like Photoshop, Blender, or most professional editing tools. Also has limited support for gaming. You can try cloud gaming with services like NVIDIA GeForce Now, but that still relies heavily on a strong internet connection. So, which OS do you think is the best? Let me know in the comments.